let's get things started.
Yeah.
All right. We're great. It's 8. It's episode 8 of Barstool Unit, and we got the championship games coming up this weekend. Of course, this week we had the last full weekend of football of 4 games. And not many surprises except Drew Brees was a real letdown. I mean, that's what we call a Willie Mays moment.
It was unfortunate to see it end like that.
I mean, it was not pretty.
It ends how it ends, you know.
I mean, the very few people get to go out really great, but Drew Brees.
All right, Frank, I'm gonna add him. Okay.
Okay, let's go.
And then we can edit all this in post.
Yep. We got a special guest this week. We're speaking about last week's divisional round games, and we got a Buffalo Bills fan, Josh Fry. I mean, we're talking Barstool units, and this guy's a total unit, big Bills fan. And the Bills, they're in the AFC Championship game for the first time in 27 years. Here's a little stat that you guys may not know. The Bills and Chiefs played in 1966 to go to Super Bowl I. 27 years later, the Bills and Chiefs played in the AFC Championship game to go to Super Bowl 28. And now it's 27 years later, and it's the Bills and Chiefs again.
I didn't know that.
There you go. Frank is a walking sports encyclopedia.
I see that.
I mean, it's a lot different now. The Bills 27 years ago were fighting to go to their 4th Super Bowl, which they did. And now the Bills are just trying to get back to the Super Bowl and get redemption.
It'd be nice.
Dude, we're ready.
Josh, thanks for joining us. Yeah, what do you think about all that?
Thanks for having me, guys. Buffalo's pumped up. We're ready. We're feeling it. We're feeling it.
Yeah. I was at the game in 2017, and y'all almost beat the Jaguars. And it was there. I mean, there were plenty of people in Buffalo or from Buffalo in Jacksonville. So I mean, if y'all were coming to Jacksonville for a wild card game, I can't imagine what it's going to be like for this AFC game.
Yeah, we travel. We don't stop. Bills Mafia is huge, and the stadium. I mean, 6,700 fans, a couple games, loud.
I would say Buffalo was probably the loudest place this weekend.
Right, and that's 6,700. So, imagine a full stadium.
Yeah,
fuck,
it's gonna get crazy.
I mean, hopefully soon we'll be able to get that again. I mean, it's nice to watch these games on TV. It's nice to get the NFL. It's nice to watch it, but there's nothing like a full stadium just screaming and yelling and just cheering when something big happens.
Especially in Buffalo. You guys ever come to a game in Buffalo?
Not yet.
Holy shit!
It's a different world, huh? Well, speaking of being at the game, that's how we came to know you.
I see that.
And your whole get up and everything. Obviously, you are definitely a unit. Is this your usual game day attire, or is it something new?
No, this is usual. I've been wearing this for many years.
Nice.
Back in the day, I used to wear a helmet, but we had trouble with security, so had to switch to a hat.
Hey, it's a nice hat.
Thank you.
There you go.
Cool. You guys get that in there?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we see it for sure.
25.
Hopefully, we get a new one.
That was the best game the Bills played too. Was that Super Bowl 25?
I was around, but I don't know. This is new for us. This is new for me, and this is fucking exciting.
Do you remember any of those 4 Super Bowls the Bills played in, or are you a little too young to remember those?
Me? No, I was like 4.
Yeah.
I was 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Frank, you're losing us on this one. You'll have to remind us.
Right.
Well, I sometimes forget that I'm 45 and that people don't necessarily remember these things, and it's tough to understand that. But I guess I can. I'm a Dolphins fan, and they won their 2 Super Bowls before I was born.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays people my age or younger, we live it through our parents, our uncles, and now this year we're experiencing it.
I mean, well, that pick six by Teron Johnson. I could
Fucking
only imagine.
huge.
I could only imagine what that would have sounded like with a full stadium in Buffalo.
Fucking huge.
Yeah, that was insane.
I mean, this is the Buffalo has got for all the struggles they've had the last 20 years. This is just like a big reward for a fan base that just like totally insane with the tables, the death of Ralph Wilson, and now it's just the reemergence of a franchise that has been just waiting in the wings for something big for years.
This has been a long time coming, but I got to say that we've always been here, even through the hard times. We've always been here. We've showed up to games, we've partied our asses off, we've yelled, we've screamed. I mean, this isn't nothing new.
Yeah, you guys are there. Win or lose.
Win or lose, we've been here. The only thing new here is the fucking team is amazing.
I understand that. Yeah, as a Jaguars fan, I grew up in Jacksonville, and we were good in the late 90s, but ever since probably 2001, 2002, it's just been, besides 2017, literally outside of 2017, it's just been a wreck. And we have good weather, and it's been tough to get people out to games. So it's nice to see like a fan base that, like through the cold, like a frozen tundra, is still out there partying it up before a game.
Well, to me, it always seems like the teams that have the nice weather always have the toughest time drawing fans in football. You ever notice that?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just there's other things to do. You can be outside and.
I mean, how many empty seats have the Dolphins have played in front of over the last 15 years?
Yeah. Well, so Josh, now, so we recognized you. Like that's how we learned about you was through the broadcast. Everybody watching the game saw you and was like,
right,
that's a Buffalo unit right there.
Right.
Has that been the first time that people have seen you on there? Is this the first notoriety you've gotten?
I mean, this obviously went viral, so this is the first time it's actually blown up. I mean, I've taken pictures with Bills fans throughout the years at games just because they go, holy fuck, look at that guy in that jersey. But I mean, this is the first time that this is like taken off like this.
Yeah.
And it fucking took off.
And has anything changed as far as how you approach? I mean, are you doing anything with the notoriety, or how's it been on the outcome of that?
You know what? So I teamed up with a local print shop here in Buffalo, and we made sweatshirts and T-shirts of the image.
Okay.
And we just loaded them up today online, and all proceeds are going to the Barstool Fund.
How about that?
Well, that'll be. I'm sure everyone here at Barstool will definitely love that. And
I mean, I got to tell you, the past week and a half has been a fucking riot, and that's because of Barstool. So what Dave has done with the Barstool Fund, I mean, I'm just a tiny little speck in that, but as much as I can do and sell this shit and people wear my face around Buffalo or wherever, fucking great. You know what I mean?
And where are you selling this shirt at?
It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook, Instagram. It's about just social media. I mean, that's where it took off, my image, and I'm just trying to get this website out there and get some.
And this shirt is the one that says "Built Different," right?
No, this is built in Buffalo, baby.
Built in Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Yeah,
I know it was built.
Josh Allen has
BILLT.
In Buffalo, correct.
Yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. So have you been going to, I think we're probably around the same age. Have you been going to Buffalo games since you were born?
Oh, yeah. I mean, throughout the years, I actually had season tickets. I believe it was 2009. Buffalo, we started 5-1, and then we lost like the next fucking 10. So, typical Buffalo back in the day. But going games as much as I can. I mean, this year sucks, obviously, for everybody, but we got to do what we got to do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at least we got the season in.
I agree. The season, for a lot of unknowns this year, the season went pretty fucking well.
Yeah. Well, there were only, what, 2 postponements, if that? You know, we had the Wednesday football, but I mean, other than that.
I think Bills was one of them, actually. Was that Pittsburgh? No, the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't the Bills, actually. That was because of the Titans, not even the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills didn't have any issues. It was the Titans had the issues, and the Bills actually ended up having to play an extra Monday night game and play was it Tuesday night they played against the Titans.
Yeah, we lost that game.
You know why? You know why you lost that? Because the Tuesday night Titans has always been kind of lucky.
Tuesday night Titans?
Yes. Okay, you guys don't know that.
Listen to Frank here. He's a sports encyclopedia. He's about to roll off a whole bunch of different dates.
You guys don't know this. Before Monday Night Raw, the first show on USA Network that was WWF, and it was WWF at the time, was called Tuesday Night Titans.
Really?
Yeah.
We're talking 80s.
Yeah, way.
Really not. Yeah, they're not the Tennessee Titans.
Right.
Frank, your references are going over us, man.
But, our viewers are going to love it.
Yeah, for sure. So that's awesome, though, that you're getting some notoriety and you're doing something with it. I know a little bit about that. I kind of came to be through the whole Coach Doug saga, and I kind of just rolled with it. And
right.
Like you said, at the end of the day, I mean, you're playing your part in the major play here, and any little bit that counts, especially if it's going to the Barstool Fund. I think that's awesome.
Exactly. That's all I can ask for. I mean, we posted a picture of the print shop rushed to get me a sweatshirt last week before the game. We posted it, and I mean, the image went viral again.
Nice.
So now we just need people to buy it. So
yeah. Now now you're talking about your jersey, your whole getup and everything. We all saw you on there. Now, as a unit myself, obviously I can tell that you're a unit.
Right.
But is that all natural?
Oh, that's all natural, baby.
All right. Because there were some people in the comments saying, especially with it's a very sad story, how James Harden tricked everyone into thinking he was a unit, and then just showed up in Brooklyn looking,
Don't you know black is a slimming color?
It's not that slimming. It's not that slimming.
Yeah, I mean, camera adds 10. I'll say that. But other than that, that's all me.
Nice. That's good to hear. Listen, we here on Barstool Units, being a unit is a mentality. Obviously, you have that mentality. It's nice. It's a nice add-on when the physical's there too.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
No. And of course, if the Bills actually do pull this out, we got the Booper Soul road trip coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up, Frank. Yeah. So if Buffalo makes it to the Super Bowl, I'm going to fly up. Frank has never been to Florida.
Really?
And he can't. Well, he can drive, but he shouldn't. So I'm going to be flying up to New York if Buffalo makes the Super Bowl, and we're going to do a Buffalo to the Bay road trip here.
Yeah, you know what it's like to drive with me. It's like I'm like an old lady driving down the road and go down the highway, and everyone's like honking at me.
You know how like an old lady drives on the road? He drives like on the highway.
Yeah, Sunday driver, baby.
On the highway. It was one of the, with COVID and everything, one of the most fearful times of 2020 for myself was absolutely riding in the car with Frank on the highway. But we're glad to have you on here. One quick question here. So if that road trip does happen, what's something that we have to do in Buffalo? Like, because we're going to be starting in Buffalo, what's one thing we have to do before we head south?
Oh, you got to eat some chicken wings.
Okay, there we go.
Chicken wings. I mean.
Now, do y'all call them Buffalo? Like
no,
we have Buffalo Wild Wings. Do you call them chicken wings in Buffalo?
Yeah, they're chicken wings here.
There you go. How about that?
And we really don't go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So
you have enough. You have enough.
Well, I had to tell him that in New Jersey. Yeah, he was talking about going to Olive Garden in New Jersey.
Yeah, no, you don't do that either.
It was half joking, but at the same time, they do have unlimited breadsticks.
Hey.
So that's
delicious, by the way.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's okay. That's fun to know. That's good to know that they don't call them buffalo wings in Buffalo.
No, and if you go anywhere outside of Buffalo and you get the buffalo wings, terrible. Terrible. I mean, if you want to talk about a letdown,
Yeah.
buffalo wings outside of Buffalo, don't do it.
Well, we'll have to check it out when we're up there. We'll have to go to we'll have to eat some chicken wings in Buffalo.
Absolutely. You guys give me a call. I'll take you for a ride.
There you go.
Well,
Boom, right there. That's our first.
We'll
Frank.
have our launching.
Frank, I'll drive.
There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. Well, Josh, hey, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We really appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you
thanks a lot.
Yeah, we appreciate you're putting your shirts and sweatshirts out there and helping support the Barstool Fund. I mean that's amazing, and we'll definitely, if Buffalo makes it, which I think they will, we'll launch our Booper Soul road trip with you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys.
For sure.
All right, thanks again.
Hey, let me get a Go Bills on 3. 1, 2, 3. Go Bills!
Go Bills!
Go Bills.
There we go. See you
All right,
later,
guys.
Josh.
Later.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, now we know if we get to do this road trip, that we will have to begin it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to start there, and that's fun. That's fun to know. In Buffalo they call them chicken wings.
That's just how it works.
I assumed it's like what do they call waffles in German? In Germany, do they not have German waffles in Germany?
Belgian waffles.
Or there you go, Belgian waffles.
Yeah, no, I think they just call them waffles. And fries in France are just fries.
In Belgium they're just called waffles. It's an old joke. But yeah, that's funny to know. In Buffalo they just call them chicken wings. That's awesome. He seems like a cool guy. It's nice to know he's a full unit, all natural. We don't discriminate, of course, but there were some questions after the whole James Harden scandal. But yeah, so that's man. I tell you what, that'll be fun if Buffalo makes it.
Well, sure. I think it's Matthew McConaughey or something like that, or Nicolas Cage is going to play a 600-pound man in the movie upcoming.
I could absolutely see Nicolas Cage doing that. I don't think Matthew McConaughey would. I know he could. I don't think he would do that to his body.
Well, it's probably going to be fat suits and special effects.
Yeah, for sure. And Frank, I'm glad you brought that up. Too many fat people roles are going to skinny people. Can we talk about that real quick? No. We'll cut that.
No, keep it in there. It's funny.
Yeah. No. But yeah, so he seems like a cool guy. We'll have to get in contact with him when we start the Super Bowl.
Yes, and
road trip.
Of course, he's doing the shirts for the Barstool Fund. Buffalo. You saw that Buffalo raised some money for Lamar Jackson's charity after he got knocked out of the game.
Yeah, I remember that. Actually, I think they raised a whole bunch of money.
I mean, Lamar Jackson, of course, getting the hit against the head, and Brent Hundley, they had no shot once Hundley entered the game.
Yeah. Well, that was speaking of quarterbacks coming in, Chad Henny, Chad Henny is
we both know how much he sucks.
A playoff winning quarterback.
We both know how much he sucks.
He was I was honestly, I didn't even know he was still in the league.
I didn't know he was in the league either.
He was a backup to Bortles, and Bortles wasn't even in the league for a while. Bortles left the LA Rams, and he was a free agent until Denver pulled him in earlier this season. So I mean, Bortles isn't playing. I was surprised that his backup was.
I mean, he took. He was actually in San Francisco briefly too, wasn't he?
He might have been. I know. Who's the other Jaguar quarterback that didn't pan out? Gabbert. I know Gabbert.
Blaine Gabbert. That's one might have been San Francisco.
And Blaine Gabbert and Blaine Gabbert was in Tennessee as well.
I mean, Blaine Gabbert. And Chad Henny with the Dolphins was just awful.
Yeah.
I mean, those passes. It was just like that pass he threw the interception in the end zone.
What are you going to do? Playoff winning quarterback.
Well, no, Patrick Mahomes won the game. The Chiefs held on for dear life.
Yeah. Would that be a save if in baseball terms?
It's a finish.
That's fair. That's fair.
If the Browns didn't use some bad timeouts, that might have been a different game.
Oh yeah, and that's any sport. I was going to say it's football, but that's any sport. You know,
the fact that they only had
one injury away.
They only had that one timeout in the last 5 minutes because of a foolhardy challenge.
Yeah. Well, and that would have been crazy to see Buffalo versus Cleveland in an AFC Championship game.
Oof.
That
would have been a nutty game. Who's
the underdog in that game? I think Cleveland is, but I'm saying just as far as from a fan base standpoint, who do you want to win? You want Cleveland or Buffalo?
Cleveland is one of 4 teams that have never actually been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that list, Frank.
But it's not as bad for the Jaguars. The Jaguars have only been around for 5 years.
30 seasons, I think.
No, 25.
Well, it's been over 25. It was less than 30. We came in 95. So actually, I think this might be 30. No, wait, what am I saying? No, last season was 25.
Yeah, so it's 26.
Yeah, 26. And so
the 2 teams it's especially embarrassing for the Browns and Lions.
Yeah,
who have been around for 55 plus years.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I don't when people say and I heard it all in high school. The Jaguars suck, they're a horrible team, blah blah blah. It's okay, but they've only been around for 25 years. The Seahawks just won their first one 5 or 6 years ago. That was their first one. They came in the 70s. The Bucs didn't win theirs for 30-something years.
It took Seattle 30 years to get to their first Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so, in the grand scheme of things, 30 years is nothing.
It took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27 years to go to their first Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they lost their first 26 games.
Yeah.
They made an NFC Championship game, made a couple of other playoff appearances, and then they had a period where they lost 10 or more games, 9 years in a row.
Was there ever any talk of them moving?
It might have been 12 years in a row. They lost 10 in a row from 83 up until 94, 95.
Would that have been with Vinny Testaverde?
Yep.
Yeah. Was there ever any talks of Tampa Bay relocating or moving?
When Cofer House was selling the team, there was always the talk of them moving, but they got the new stadium, and you know how that goes.
I do know how that goes. Yeah. Well, it's going to be a fun weekend for sure. So we've got Green Bay going up against Tom Brady. I've heard a lot of people talking about how frustrating it must be for a Buffalo fan to think, hey, we finally got Tom Brady out of the AFC East, and we don't have to deal with him anymore. And then they play the Bucs in the Super Bowl.
But you know what? That's the Super Bowl. It's different.
Yeah. As long as you make it, right?
Yeah. The Bills against Tom Brady is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think they've only beaten Brady once.
When he was with Patriots.
Yep. Because between once or twice they beat Brady. From 2001 up until last year, the Bills have only beat the Patriots 4 times, and twice. One of them was when Brady was suspended. One of them was when Brady was rested for half a game in Week 17. One of them was a Ryan Fitzpatrick Magic special, and the other one was the start of the 2003 season.
That's a long run. I guess that kind of runs with Jacksonville with Indianapolis.
That's not the worst thing that ever happened to Buffalo.
Yeah, what is?
The 1970s.
What happened in the 70s, Frank?
They lost 20 straight games to the Miami Dolphins.
20 straight.
Yes.
10 seasons.
10 seasons. The Miami Dolphins did not lose a single game to the Buffalo Bills, playing twice a year from 1970 to 1979.
I just can't imagine. I mean, after like season 5 or 6, you just got to be like, come on, we got to win one.
And 7 of those years, 14 of those games, they had maybe even more than that, 16 of those games at least. O.J. Simpson was on the roster.
I don't know. I don't know.
And when the Bills finally beat the Dolphins, first game of the 1980 season, the fans rushed the field like they were like a freaking and tore down the goalpost in Buffalo.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy to me.
Like it was like Tennessee beating Alabama.
Yeah.
They rushed the field and tore down the goalpost.
Title, yeah. I mean, you would never see that.
No,
never see that again.
You would never see that in the NFL. In fact, the Bills, when they won like the division championship in '88, their fans rushed the field and tore down the goalpost.
I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's me never being in like a position to where I could jump on the field because FSU did not play that. Especially, I mean, even when I was little, I just can't. I don't get it. I don't see the benefit to it. I remember
when the Mets won the '86 division championship. The fans rushed the field, and then they put a stop to it after that.
Yeah.
In 1969, when the Mets won the World Series, fans rushed the field, tore up the field.
It's just, yeah. I guess, I don't know. I mean, I guess
it's something that it's not done in professionals anymore.
Yeah,
but it used to happen.
I guess rushing the field, like I can kind of understand that. You want to be like, I mean, they stormed the court in basketball, at least in college. I guess I can understand that, but the idea of tearing up the goalposts and like it's I guess it's funny to watch, like, but I don't get the gist of it.
When the Jets played the last game at Shea Stadium, they lost and fans rushed the field. They were tearing, even though the Mets still played there for another 25 years after that, and the Jet fans just they were taking like the breaking apart benches, and
that's insane. That's insane to me. Well, speaking of the Mets, and you had one of the funniest tweets about this. You called him a straight up loser. I mean, okay, so we're talking about your now former GM.
Love is a many splendor thing. You should not send pictures of your thing.
I think that's a fair statement. It's a beautiful song. It's a fair statement. What's
going on here? Idiot.
It's just one of those things. Like this is how sad it is. The unsolicited dick pic isn't the worst part about it. Like, obviously, for a certain vantage point, it definitely is the worst part about it. Like, there's a difference between like, hey, you're just, like, that's now you've entered like a sexual realm.
You see, if it wasn't for the dick pic, he'd just
be a creep.
He'd just be a creep. The Mets would talk to him. He would not get fired. It would not be. I mean, there'll be people out there saying, "Ooh, you're kind of a weirdo," but he probably would not get fired because even though it is harassment, she never pressed charges for harassment.
Yeah,
she never actually said stop, and if she said stop, then it becomes harassment to the point of legal action to be taken place if she says stop. But she never said stop. She just ignored it. I mean, she could have like blocked him. I mean, it's like throwing rocks at the window to get the girl's attention.
Yeah,
and she doesn't want to pay your mind. I mean, but when you get to the point where you're sending bulge pics, dick pics, and this,
that is, I don't know who that picture was for.
I mean, what are you doing?
who takes that picture and says, "Yeah, that's a keeper," and I'll send it to someone. But yeah, I don't. It's definitely
moron. The guy is a moron.
He's a moron.
And one thing I don't understand is ESPN sat on this story for a couple of years.
Yeah, and so that's the whole thing. And so I'm torn between. She could have not. She could have blocked him. She could have stated like, "Don't text me anymore." However, I don't think I'm comfortable with putting the onus on her.
No, the onus is not on her. The guy's a creep. The guy's a loser. She quit the profession. She went on to another profession because I guess one of the reasons was because of just being hit upon, and she didn't like it. But from my understanding, the Cubs kind of knew what was going on.
The Cubs
and they didn't exactly act on it.
Yeah.
See, if this guy gets fired. If this guy gets fired by the Cubs, he never gets hired by to become scouting director of the Diamondbacks. If he's got that black mark and people know about him, if he's got this and everyone knows that he did something weird, he doesn't get hired by the Mets.
Yeah.
And ESPN, well, who cares about the Cubs guy? Who cares about some scouting director? Oh, he's the GM of the Mets. Okay, sensationalized, ban, dan, dan.
Yeah, and it would be silly for someone to not recognize and like assume that is one of the reasons it's coming out now. I know they said that she's out of the industry and so she's not worried about any kind of backlash she would have gotten, but I don't. And maybe this might be my ignorance. Backlash. Well, that's what I'm saying.
She would have got backlash.
And that's where I'm like I don't know if it's my ignorance of like I've never dealt with it before I don't understand if I feel like especially 2 years ago if 2 years ago she came out and said that was like wasn't that like the very beginning or like the heart of like the Me Too movement?
The Me Too movement, 2017. I mean, come on. All she had to do was just tell somebody, and nobody would have had backlash on her.
Yeah,
I mean the 62 messages is creepy, but he could have survived that. The dick pic though is
there were bulge pics in there too. I don't know if
the whole pic package.
Yeah. It's everything put together. But yeah, I was thinking about it today. I was like, I think I triple text messaged a girl in college, and that was me being like young, stupid. Like I was making up all excuses I could think of, like, oh, maybe she didn't see that one or anything. I felt like a piece of shit after 3, and I never messaged her again after that. Like after the third one, I was like, nah, okay, this is I need to grow up. But like that's 62. I'm saying like I felt like a weirdo or like a creep or whatever.
You have to be just so incredibly hard up. You got to be a total fucking loser. That is something a total fucking loser does. Forget about creep, what she is. Forget about the girl being the victim. The guy is a loser. An idiot.
Yeah, 62. Like, at no point could he have thought this next one will get it. This next one will be the one. Like, I don't get it.
I mean, like I said, the guy just a total fucking loser. He could. I mean,
here's the question though: will he still go down as one of the greatest GM Mets of the Mets that ever had?
You know what's ironic is, 1998, Steve Phillips got caught up in a whatchamacallit scandal, sexual harassment scandal. He was married at the time too, and he almost got fired, but they just like gave him like a 3-month leave of absence.
Yeah.
And he ended up surviving it and worked for ESPN for a number of years too, ironically.
How about that? Would an ESPN would hire someone like that? Wow.
I think he might even still work for ESPN.
That would be icing on the cake for sure.
I mean,
But yeah, that's
like
it.
one of those baseball experts they brought on.
Yeah, it just goes to show it. I mean, at a certain point, it doesn't matter how good you are at your job. You can't be a creep.
No, he doesn't work for ESPN anymore, but I think he's worked for a number of different things. He like MLB Network.
Yeah, he's still in the industry, as they would say.
Yeah, he does Sirius. He does Sirius XM. He actually works for baseball in Canada now.
You know, they're polite. They'll you know, they're much more forgiving up there. But well, I mean, he got you Lindor, you know.
Yep, and hopefully George Springer, someone could bring him in.
Yeah, that I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, I don't know. Part of me always wants to feel bad for him, like no matter who it is or what they did, because just like some people just don't understand like that. That's not. Some people don't like they mentally don't have the capacity to understand like you shouldn't do this. That doesn't mean there can't be repercussions or punishments or whatnot, but at a certain point I feel bad for him. I'm like, how do you not like if you send 62 messages in a row,
but
that response, like
you could feel sorry for him, except for the dick pic. That makes what he did unforgivable.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I don't. I can't imagine. Again, you'd be silly or foolish to think this didn't come out at a certain time for a certain reason. However, that doesn't negate what he actually did.
It would have been nice if it came out earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it makes me think, has he done that to anyone else? I don't think that that's a behavior you only have towards one person. I feel like if you're the type of person to do that, you're probably doing that to multiple people.
I mean, the Cubs, if they knew about this in 2016, he should have been gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but who would you even question about that? Would you go back to the Cubs organization and say, hey, like, what, is there an MLB investigation now to find out who knew what when?
Yeah,
that's fair. Like I said, it's the timing is obviously silly, but that doesn't negate what he did, and I feel bad. I feel bad for him, not in the sense that like he shouldn't be punished. I feel bad for him because he clearly doesn't have a certain mental capacity to understand that what he did was not cool.
I mean, what a total idiot, total fucking loser.
There's so many. Anyway, but yeah, so the Mets are on the search for a new GM. The Tennessee Volunteers are on the search for a new head coach as well.
Boy, is that program just a total fucking mess.
It's one of those things where, because they were landing recruits left and right when Doug's was at Tennessee. And it was just one of those things where it's like, wow, hey, Tennessee's, their social media game's hitting off. Like, they've got Pruitt, everyone, like, it was just the hype around it was crazy. And they were landing all these recruits. And now it's kind of like, oh, I don't know why we didn't see this sooner. Like, I don't know why we didn't expect there to be some underlying event or, situation that was causing this, To
me, I think the best solution would be bring in T. Martin.
Yeah.
Bring in T. Martin as your coach. Turn back the clock. He took Manning's spot, won him a championship. Just go back to the future. Bring someone in that might it hasn't worked for Nebraska, but Nebraska's just totally I don't know what's happened to Nebraska.
Well, so and I don't know the full story behind it, whether or not Phil Fulmer might not be in Tennessee much longer. I imagine.
No, he's basically gone.
Yeah. And I imagine there's going to be an incident. So it's not just like, oh, hey, we'll start with someone else. Like whoever's coming in, like it's the NCAA is not just going to say, oh, okay, well, hey, you handled it, so all's good and we won't worry about it. Like there's going to be some punishment. There's going to be something going on that's going to limit Tennessee athletics, at least on the football side. So it's not just, oh, hey, we'll get a new coach in. The new coach is going to have to deal with some stuff.
And they have not been relevant. They're even worse than stinking. They're not relevant anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely worse. Like it's just where like people don't even concern themselves with you.
I mean, you got the big boys in the SEC. You got Bama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina's put their neck out there a couple times. Kentucky's been okay.
Yeah,
the Mississippi school, Mississippi State, Mississippi. A&M's pretty good. But Tennessee's an afterthought. They're now down there with Vanderbilt.
That's rough to hear.
I mean, Kentucky's
Vanderbilt's not supposed to be anybody.
Kentucky's better than them.
Oh man, it's a tough day for Doug's Nation.
And this used to be a top 10 program.
Yeah, they were winning national titles.
I mean, during the Peyton Manning era, the only problem was they couldn't beat Florida.
Yeah,
they'd have like 1 or 2 losses a year, and that one of them would be to Florida, and they just never got a chance to like make their run because they always lose to Florida.
Yeah,
I think Manning went like 0-4 against Florida, if I could recall.
I think that sounds right. I'm not sure if Manning. I don't think Peyton ever beat Florida. I think that's something they say. It's a tough day. It's a tough day all around. But
yeah, they did. It's stunning that the Tennessee just can't seem to get it right. And now, when Philip Fulmer left and they brought in Lane Kiffin, I mean that was just like the whole program is just never recovered from Lane Kiffin leaving after 1 year.
Yeah, well, and I think it was Big T. I think Big T was tweeting about a welcome home Lane Kiffin. Like, what if Lane Kiffin came back to Tennessee? He's doing a good job at Ole Miss right now.
I can't see him doing that.
No. He can you imagine him leaving Ole Miss after 1 year to go back? That would be.
Well, it didn't end good in Tennessee.
No.
They actually there's like a waste disposal plant in Tennessee that they actually named after Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I remember Lane Kiffin. I mean, he kind of he humanized himself a little bit when Doug's went to Tennessee. He tweeted out and said, "Don't leave after one season. They don't like that." So, when a person does that, when they kind of joke about themselves, it just kind of even if you don't like that.
You saw what Kevin Harlan did, didn't you?
No, I haven't.
He tweeted to me a clip of Dolphins winning a game.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Okay, yeah. Because you made the statement and said the Dolphins have never won a game that he announced.
But, of course, it was the year they went 1-15, and it was the only game they won that year.
So he trolled you. Like, he was like, I'll send him one game.
And it was like the week 13 or week 14 game against the Ravens where they won in overtime, and Craig Camarillo caught a pass to Cleo Lemon and would have scored in overtime
for the one win of the season.
Yeah,
I'm telling you what, it's Twitter is amazing how you have access to so many people, and it's got its downsides for sure. I was being trolled by I don't even know if I want to say there's some I don't even know the group. It's some Michigan State fans. They I don't even want to associate them with the school. I don't know, but they were coming after me a bit because I had Culver's, and they hate the fact that I was enjoying a nice meal.
Jeez.
But what are you gonna do? Some people just some people just don't like life. They don't enjoy things. So
They're miserable, so you should be miserable.
yeah, I didn't even think Michigan. I mean, Michigan State's not even that bad of a program. So I mean, I don't know why they're so mad, but it is what it is. But yeah, so that's pretty cool though. That chocolate football. I saw you got another one.
Yeah, although this one's kind of broken.
Yeah,
but you know what? You're gonna break it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sealed in there, so just open it up either this week or the Super Bowl, and we'll dig in.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, hopefully I'll be. I don't know if I don't come up there to start the. If Buffalo doesn't make it, I'm still going to try and to come up there. Where is Rough and Rowdy this time around?
It's like 2 days before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but where is it located? Where are they going to be doing it?
West Virginia.
Okay, cool. You going to Detroit with the guys this weekend?
No, I'm not.
I was. That's going to be fun. That'll be fun as states come on board for the just a crew of people to go.
I'm surprised New Jersey hasn't gotten on board yet. I mean, we have our legalized gambling here, but we just haven't gotten the app yet.
Yeah. You would think. Yeah. Well, I guess you're probably just on the list, right?
Well, we have FanDuel, we have the other ones, but for some reason they just haven't let new Barstool in yet, which is, I think, ridiculous. I mean, the more the merrier. Competition's good for everybody.
Yeah. Well, speaking of competition and gambling and everything, I heard everyone was kind of excited, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but everyone was excited because Cuomo said he was going to have gambling in New York. And then he came out and said, "Oh, but we want the lotto to run it." And so everyone's just like, "Yay! What? Why?" And it's kind of like it's kind of like the Mets getting Lindor, and then it's like you get everyone excited, and then you just ruin it.
Well, this is more like the old days in the Mets, where you find out that they're going to get Robinson Cano, but trade all your prospects away, and then you see Robinson Cano's birth certificate.
Is it now? As a Mets fan, were you blindsided by this? Is it just like, yep, that makes sense? Like, I mean, what is this just like another Tuesday?
Well, the Mets acted quickly. They didn't hesitate. They did. I mean, there's no way this guy could keep his job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where he goes from here.
Well, I could picture him delivering meals for Uber Eats. I could picture him driving a cab.
I mean, this is a career killer for sure.
Maybe the Mets could still keep him on. I mean, I don't see any harm in him selling beer. Beer here, beer here.
That would be wild.
I could see
watching a Mets game.
I could see him taking tickets.
Just a former GM passing you a bag of peanuts.
I mean, maybe he'll be a sky cap at LaGuardia Airport.
I was going to say I wish him well, but I mean, I don't. Do you wish?
I mean, baseball probably poison. I mean, he was a GM for 36 days, and his career is now in the toilet.
I just have to say, I mean, based on time spent as the GM, I mean, he may be the best GM they all have had in a long time.
I mean, how? And people knew about this. And didn't dawn to tell the Mets.
Yeah. Well, and that's that actually now that I think about it, I mean, if people knew about it, I mean, do you think people knew about it before he became? I mean, did someone talk to the Mets before they hired him?
No.
So other organizations were pretty much like, hey, if he gets out of here, we don't have to deal with it.
The Cubs, maybe.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks made him the head of scouting.
Yeah.
He was like a protege for Theo Epstein, who now works in the MLB office.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well,
and all this happened while he was at the Cubs, so the Cubs should have known.
Yeah.
And if the Cubs knew, then he probably would never have been hired by the Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
If the Cubs let it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if I can be a Mets fan. I don't know if I can do it. I love what Steve Cohen's done as an owner, but it's just that orange and blue, I just can't get over that orange and blue. Well, speaking of fan bases though, I'm torn here. I'm obviously
someone for the South, can they root for the Yankees?
I'm not. Well, here's the deal. If you're in South Florida, absolutely.
Well, I remember an old Looney Tunes cartoon with Yosemite Sam. And he goes, where are the Yankees? The Yankees are in Chattanooga. Oh, the Yankees are in Chattanooga. You see he's got the gun and he's got all the Yankees in the dugout with their hands up. You better not get us up on the field, you
Well, I'm looking forward to going to actual sporting events like hockey. We talked about this on Twitter. I'm in Jacksonville. Tampa is 4 hours, if not a little bit further away. And so I've kind of been a Lightning fan, de facto by proxy, just by proximity. They're the closest hockey team to me, so I've kind of been a Lightning fan, but I've never actively cheered for them. Like I've watched them play games, and I've been like, oh yeah, let's go Lightning. I don't know if I'll feel comfortable moving up to New York, New Jersey, and claiming to be a Lightning fan, especially after they win the championship. That would feel like,
if you can't be a Met fan, you can't be an Islander fan.
If I can't be, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Well, you know why you can't be an Islander fan?
I do like their logo though.
Yeah, but what colors are the Islanders?
I know. It's not the same orange blue. It's more of like a greenish blue, I think.
No, it isn't. The blue that the Islanders wear is closer to Florida Gators than the Mets is.
No, maybe I'm thinking of old school jerseys.
They went back to the original look, which is the Met type.
The old fisherman with the hockey. I mean, they
only had that for 2 seasons.
I'm just saying, if that was like their go-to logo, I could see myself being an Islanders fan. Well, so here's the thing. So I don't.
What's funny is the fans, when that came out close to 30 years ago now, fans hated that logo, and now fans like the logo.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know. I feel weird being in this position because I don't mind rooting for the Lightning. I don't mind like coming up to New York and being like, oh, I'm a Lightning fan. If I actually get into it and I say Lightning are my team, they're my team, I'm going forward. I could also see myself being a Rangers fan or a Devils fan. And so I was thinking about this the other night. I might have you and Glennie try and recruit me.
Well, they're playing tonight, actually, right now.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And the Devils have a 4-2 lead going into the third period.
Are the Rangers not good this year?
Rangers are a young team. The Devils aren't supposed to be very good this year either. But the Devils are a very young team too. They have Jack Hughes actually looks like he's grown a couple of years since last year. I mean, Jack Hughes was on the ice last year. He was 18 and he looked like he was 13.
Yeah.
And now he actually looks like he's about 16, 17.
Well, right now I still don't know if I'm going to live in Hoboken or if I'm going to live in the city. I'm not sure. That may or may not. If I end up living in Hoboken, I might have to say the Devils either way.
Oh, you have to be the Devils if you live in Hoboken.
If I live in Hoboken, yeah. But if I live in New York, it would still be. I don't know. I don't know if I want to limit myself to those. I just keep picturing that Seinfeld episode.
Well, there's a good reason to root for the Devils right there.
Yeah,
be like Cuddy.
I just can't get that out of my head. Just the Devils, the devil. I just can't get that out of my head. But I mean, but if I'm in New York, I feel like, New York Rangers, red, white, and blue. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
The Rangers caused the demise of a hockey team called the New York Americans.
I did not know that. Tell me more. Tell me more. What's going on here?
The first NHL team to play in Madison Square Garden was called the New York Americans. They beat the Rangers by a year. The Rangers saw the Americans had some popularity, so the owners of Madison Square Garden wanted to start their own team. At the time, Tex Rickard was basically in charge of Madison Square Garden, so they hyped the team up as Come See Texas Rangers. That's how the team got the name.
Yeah.
So eventually, the lease on Madison Square Garden, they paid off the mortgage, so to speak, for Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
They burnt the mortgage in the Stanley Cup, and basically told the Americans, "No, we're no longer going to share the arena with you." They were supposed to move to Brooklyn, and played one season as the Brooklyn Americans, and they were getting ready to build a stadium for them in Brooklyn, an arena in Brooklyn, when World War II began. And because they didn't get the arena, the Rangers wouldn't let them play. They went on hiatus.
Yeah.
And this is when the NHL went from 7 teams to 6 teams. And after the war, they tried to come back, but the Rangers basically blocked it. So that the NHL is fine with 6 teams. So the Rangers basically led to the demise of the New York Americans.
That is upsetting. Because you have the Montreal Canadiens, right?
Yeah. No, it's not Canadians. It's Canadiens.
Is it?
Yes, it's not Canadians. It's Canadiens.
It's
spelled with an E instead of an A, and it's the French pronunciation for Canadian.
Well, I'm definitely not going to be their fan.
Les Habitants. Le Montreal, le Canadien de Montreal.
I took a couple years of French, and I'm not interested in that at all. Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it goes. That story about the
there actually used to be an English team in Montreal, and they were basically done in by the Depression.
You're killing these teams with these depressions, World War II.
Yeah, the team was called the Montreal Maroons.
Because the color?
Yep. Red sweater with a big M on it.
Well, we'll see. I'm either going to stick to being a Lightning fan, and I'll just be a Lightning fan. I need to talk to Stephen Shea about what it's like being in New Jersey but still rooting for a Tampa Bay team. But
it's easier to root for teams that are out of market if you're for the NFL. It's just not as easy for the NHL and NBA and of course Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to. I'll have to sit you and Glennie will have to sit me down and explain to me why I should be a Devils fan or a Rangers fan, so I can make an informed decision.
Well, Avery would probably even try to recruit you to the Rangers too.
Oh yeah. I think there's a couple of people in the office,
but of course you have Frankie Borelli and the Islanders too.
Yeah. Oh, that's in my head. In my head, I pictured him trying to set. But if it's orange and blue, I can't do it.
I mean, if you can't do the Mets, you can't do the Islanders.
And that's fair. And that's a hill that I'm willing to die on. The orange and blue, I just can't do it. All right. Well,
you do know who is trying, who is still a minor leaguer in the Mets organization, who's got this foolish fantasy of baseball.
Yeah, he every time he catches a pop up, he takes a kney. I don't know if you noticed that or not when he was playing in the minors, but yeah. And when Tim Tebow's kind of like Tom Brady sort of like, you want to hate him, but he's not a bad guy. So like it's difficult to hate. You might be able to hate him a lot easier than I can. But Well, we've got I mean, I tell you what, we've got a lot of stuff planned ahead of us here.
As soon as you get up, I started these daily walks where I walk for an hour, a half hour to an hour a day especially when I'm in the office.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. Yeah, I saw the last one where you were down close to 390. I mean, that's awesome. I'll have to get my own scale so I can track my progress as well. As you know,
get the big those they make the extra wide scales for units now. So
the
ones you get.
So you don't have to go down to like the veterinarian's office and you don't have to go down to the local zoo and use the elephant scale
or go to the truck center. You know,
the weigh station.
The weigh station, yes.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like fun. Well, we're going to be we got a whole lot of stuff planned. I'll be in New York either for the start of our road trip, or I'll be up there after the Dallas card show that I'm going to. But either way, we got a whole lot of stuff planned.
And of course, this card show. Well, hopefully, card shows will resume up here one of these days.
Oh yeah. I'll be going there. We got the big card show coming up in the summer in Chicago. Looking forward to that. But yeah, all right, good deal. Well, that's Barstool Units. Frank, take us out.
Of course, click like, subscribe, tune in every week, and of course, I want you to know that I really do like you. I'm gonna send 1,000,000 messages until you answer, because I'm a creep.
I'm hungry.
What the fuck am I doing? I've ruined my career. See you next week.